de tweede speler, ook uit Engeland, uit Bradwell. Het is een voormalig winnaar van de World Masters en voormalig finalist van de Premier League. Hier is The King, Mervyn King!
Bow down to the king. Bow down to the king. Bow down to the king. Bow down to the king.
Day one of the Belgian Darts Championship. Rob Malarkey in the chair for this one, alongside me Paul Nicholson. Paul, I've been doing my homework in the build-up to this final match of the session. This is the 79th European Tour event since the Reformation in its current guise since 2012. So 79 European Tour events, these two played in the very first. And of course Justin Pipe won it as well, so a nice way to round things off, I think, on our first visit to Belgium on the European Tour. 253 matches these two have played in total on the European Tour as well. They have a combined age of 101, and the stage belongs to Mervyn King and Justin Pipe.
Good statting, that. I'd give you an A for that homework. Very good indeed. And I'm intrigued by this one, not just because they're two veterans of the current game, but their form so far this season is almost bubbling under the surface a little bit. Merv has qualified not only for this event, but for the next one as well. Justin has not, so maybe a tiny bit more pressure in the Justin Pipe corner than that of Mervyn King. But they really want to put in a performance here to kickstart their season, I feel.
Yes, and I'd also, with regards to Mervyn King, I think he's looking to make up for lost time on the European Tour as well. He didn't qualify yet. I mean, he had a good qualifying record last year in the main, but he didn't qualify for any of the last four. It's just as well that he did qualify for the bulk of the first 8 or 9 tournaments of last year. So it's strange for him to be in that position, because let's not forget he was an ever-present on the European Tour in 2018. In fact, he even did a bit of stint in commentary as well. So, I mean, he certainly ticked a lot of boxes over the course of those 12 months.
140.
For Justin Pipe, well, I think with Justin Pipe, I think it's safe to say he's worked very, very hard to get back on track to where he is. And I think qualification for this tournament is further evidence that he's moving in the right direction once again. He's now qualified for 5 of the last 6 European Tour events, if you go back to the end of last year as well. So things may be just starting to come together for him.
We've always said that getting into European Tour events is big for your season. But I think with 13 of them now, they're as important as ever. And we not only look for the people who have qualified, but we start looking at the people who haven't over a course of time. And it's a slippery slope. I remember being a seed for that very first European Tour event. And I was one of those guys who loved the fact he hadn't missed one. And then when I dropped out of the seedings, I qualified, went straight back in. But then I had a period where I didn't get in for years. So it was feast or famine with me. And the thing that Merv particularly prides himself on is being in events all the time. He loves the fact that he's never missed a match play. This year, he's going to have to work very, very hard to maintain that record. A bit like what Steve Beaton's been doing for the best part of 20 years.
Yeah, so it's been a long time since we saw Mervyn King in Europe. I think it was Prague where he made the quarterfinals the last time we saw him. But he did have some really high-profile quarterfinals last year. The World Match Players, you mentioned qualifying for that again. The World Grand Prix, he made the last 8 there. He made the last 8 as well at the Players' Championship final. So he's still doing it, you know, on a regular basis on the biggest stages as well. But he's doing the bread and butter stuff as well on the Pro Tour and on the European Tour as well.
Well, Justin's just checking Merv's position. Doesn't want to go for 16 and ball. He's going to go the other way around. Just shy on the double 8, but I don't mind that play. When your opponent's on 200, Going 16 ball is the wrong way to go. He had options of treble 10, bullseye, treble 14 potentially.
98.
And he returns to the board for something
16.
favourable now that Merv is in the finishing zone, but likely that Pipe will hold for a 1-0 lead. Doesn't like that one because the flight's in the way. Moves an inches closer.
Yeah, he's still got a lot to work with there, you would fancy.
No
That's
score.
a bounce out, not quite sure. There was a deflection
Merv
on the
in
way
Uruguay,
through anyway, and I think it
102.
would have been destined for the single 8-bed rather than the double.
Well, somewhat mystically,
94.
I'm not really sure why
Justin Uruguay,
Merv didn't stay on the
16.
60 there, because it was a lovely lie for double 11. He gives Pipe another chance. Two fours. Got to be aggressive with this one. Oh, and for a
14.
second he thought that was in, and so did I.
8.
Well, missed doubles may well prove costly here for Justin Pipe. Just inside for double 2. Pitched awkwardly.
Yeah, it's on the first
Mervyn
leg.
finds a way
Mervyn.
through, and Justin Pipe,
Second leg
what was
is
that,
Mervyn
7
to
missed
throw
starts at a
first.
double for the opener,
King.
and it's King who makes the early breakthrough.
It's a bit of a bonus leg for Merv, that one, because he thought that leg was gone, but he snagged it. And he's the kind of player that doesn't really squander these kind of opportunities
100.
in what has been a Hall of Fame career. A career that a lot of people may agree that should have had more silverware.
Yeah, I'd echo that.
But I think it's the longevity of Merv and what he has done is what we should focus on. Playing darts at his
81.
level for such a period of time is not easy, especially when you've got a family at home and you've got as many interests as Merv has. Loves his motorbikes, loves his golf, loves his
140.
fishing.
Did he travel here on a motorbike, or was that in a car?
Came in the car this time, I believe.
Prides himself on his ability to get around from A to B, wherever he goes up.
Yeah, I don't think as many dart players know the motorways of Central and
Western
Northern Europe
Yeah.
than he does. But
Yeah.
what is really puzzling to me is that there's been 6 Players' Championships this year already, and both of these guys haven't gone into
135.
the hat for round 3 yet. They've won 1 game in a Players' Championship, but have not won another, which is flabbergasting when you think about it. Early parts of the season, of course, and I'm sure that'll turn around, but
92.
I remember 12 months ago, or 11 months ago, at the
126.
first European Tour event, that Justin was very good in Europe, but took a long time to find his feet in Players' Championships. Now Merv went for the 126 and didn't need to, but maybe that shows how aggressive he wants to be this afternoon.
And when you've got the early break, you may as well be aggressive just to try and send out a message to your opponent. 286 minus these for Justin Pipe anyway. But yeah, Mervyn King last year, there were signs there. You say about King's
140.
performances on the Euro Pro Tour this year, but just 1 semi-final and 1 quarter-final on the Pro Tour in 2019. So perhaps the signs were there for him. There was some consistent stuff in terms of the last 32 appearances and what have you.
Yeah, on the second leg.
So far, so
Mervyn
good
King.
for Mervyn King. The finishing is
The leg is just in to throw first.
2
Game
from
on.
2 so far. 2 from 2, but 2 takeout. 2 if you know what I mean.
Well, Merv's old school, and he's part of a school of players, in my opinion, that once they get one break of
93.
throw early, they focus on just holding their throw from here on in. Just watch his performance when he's throwing first. He may just have that extra
100.
1% of focus in saying to Justin, you're not going to break me in this game, you're not going to beat me that way. And see the angle of the dart for Justin Pipe as it enters the board. You can see the flight is almost covering the bullseye when it's near the 60. So if you find him on 130 in this match and he gets the 60 with the first dart, he'll go for the second treble for double 5, because that way he's got a clear bed to aim at.
123.
Talked about Justin Pipe's success in the very first European Tour event. The
78.
has also made a couple of finals on the European Tour. Mervyn King is also a European Tour champion, let's not forget that as well. On the European Grand Prix in 2014. Made the final of the German Masters as well the year before that. And also the final of the Dutch Masters on one occasion as well. So these two are European Tour champions, two stalwarts of the European Tour. They've been here from the word go.
Well, one thing that these guys have got in common is that they've both won in Benidorm in the PDC Tour, which is not a joke. I remember when Justin Pipe beat me in the Benidorm final back in 2012. He bageled me in that final. He played extremely well. And later in the season, Merv won in Benidorm himself. Might have been slightly before that, but Justin Pipe loves double 15. Oh, he doesn't right now. And Merv is thinking 3-0 and double break.
Yeah, he does like double 15, but you heard the clatter because it just did brush the wire. But Mervyn King looking at 43. Tops double 10 for a 3-0 lead and a double break. And there it is. Mervyn King is in control of this one.
Full leg is Mervyn to throw first.
Very different break of throw to the one he had in the first leg when he was reliant on Pipe missing 7 darts at a double. But he once again still stepped in. This time it was just that miss at double 15 that proved decisive on that occasion. But King still had to do the business himself.
60.
There was a time in my career as a commentator that I would place every single coin in my pocket on Merv going for an 11 for double 16 there. In the last 12 months, my coin has remained in my pocket because now he seems to go for tops more. It's a huge change in what he's been doing for the past quarter of a century. Maybe he just feels more comfortable going for a different target now, and he's challenging himself on the fly.
He's not still, I'm sure, he's not changed this
42.
Going for treble 16, double 16, has he?
Well, time will tell.
Will that ever go? I'm hoping not.
Now I want him to be on 80.
Just to see.
I'll move on 399. He's got to be crafty. Got to start using that 19 section very soon.
85.
Maybe not as soon as he thought, with Justin just faltering on the scoring phase a little bit.
Well, the last time we saw somebody open up a 3-0 lead with 2 breaks was Damon Hetty, who went on to beat Michael Barnard by 6-0. I don't think King will be getting too carried away just yet, but it's a really good start by Mervyn King. The winner of this to face Glenn Durrant, by the way, in the second round tomorrow. Glenn Durrant arriving, I assume, very shortly, if he's not already here after his exploits in Dublin last night.
He was involved in a great game yesterday with Nathan Aspinall. No longer top of the table, does I, but loving life in the Premier League. He called Dublin the best crowd he's ever played in front of, which is not inaccurate. It is quite an incredible place to play, I hear. Mervyn's done well to get himself to 122 after 12. He's in a super position to get himself 4-0 ahead. That was a needed 57 from Justin.
Well, this is for 4-0. He may get 6 darts from here. Is he going to go for it?
97.
We saw earlier people rejecting that shot because they don't think the 160's going. Mervyn is a little bit more savvy at that kind of thing because Justin only just misses out on a shot for tops.
80.
If you're on a finish, Mervyn is going to try and take the ball out. Look what Justin's left. The shot that we want to see Merv on, but he's got 25 instead.
Yeah, 25 for a 4-0 lead. Double 8s. He's normally fairly reliable in this part of the board. There's further proof of exactly what he can do or what he's capable of, and it's 4-0 to Mervyn King. I've got to say, I never saw this scoreline coming.
No, I didn't either. I thought this would be close, looking at the form of this season so far.
100.
And you look at the qualifying as well. There were some good performances in there. Justin taking out Kieran Tian of Ireland, who's hopefully going to grace the stage at some point. Benito van der Pas, who seems to be coming back to a little bit of form, which is very encouraging for him. But Mervyn, great performance against McGeaney to get through, 101 average, a 6-2 victory. He beat out one of the guys also, Gary Blades, who came through day one of Q School this year.
91.
Yeah, one of the surprise candidates to emerge from Q School in Wigan in January. Just to let you know, just to remind you that we get underway, I think at 7 o'clock tonight. That's the slight change to the format. It was a 7:15 start for the evening session last year on the European Tour, so not too much of a turnaround actually this evening. It's 5:10 local time right now, so we'll have around about an hour and a half break, I would have thought. Dirk van Dijvenbode starts things off as Justin Pipe gets himself going with a 180. Van Dijvenbode takes on Luke Woodhouse. A cluster of Dutch and Belgian players in action this evening. Plenty for the home fans to get stuck into.
82.
Mike de Decker is one of the Belgians. He takes on Rob Meulenkamp. Callan Rids against Clemens. Let's see what Justin Pipe can do here. 110 away.
Oh, is the bull covered for the 130? I mentioned it earlier.
Well, he's just having a look to see where King is. He's on
98.
198 and he's gone safety first there. Just kept it all in shape.
He didn't do what Merv did earlier, did he? Merv had 126 and he went for the bull.
81.
Justin decided
Justin
against it.
32.
He leaves a double he prefers.
Well, he needs a clean hit here. Doesn't want to be hanging around too much longer.
Game shot on the fifth leg. Justin Pipe.
Hopefully,
Six leg, Mervyn to throw
settle
first.
him down a little
Game
bit.
Only a hold of throw though, Rob.
It is no great damage done for Merv, who's got the throw here anyway for a 5-1 lead.
93.
We've got 3 Dutch versus Belgian clashes this evening, actually. De Decker against Meulenkamp I've already mentioned. Danny Noppert against Geert de Vos. And Vandenberg against Dirk Telnikes as well. So plenty for the home fans to get stuck into this evening.
Yeah, plenty to get your teeth into tonight. What's
Steve
sticking out for
Lennon
you?
against Rodriguez for me is a tasty looking one. And I think, you know, I mean, I always like watching Kim Heidricks, whoever he's playing. And the fact he's got Ryan Harrington.
108.
May just be on the crest of a wave after last night. Should be fairly decent as well. But I think the 3 Dutch-Belgian clashes will be plenty to give us food for thought later.
I think it'll be really interesting to see who comes
97.
through from the host nation qualifiers this year, to see if we can unearth some new talent. But some of the faces you'll see this evening may be new faces to you guys, but I'm very, very excited about Dirk Telnikes. I've seen him play a little bit in the last couple of years. He's good. And Vandenberg has got a challenge tonight. But Rids against Clemens, for me, that's the best game of the night.
140.
Now King has a chance at a 130, and he doesn't have to go for the bullseye, but he might. Will he? He won't.
52.
And that's not A+, because he's offered Justin Pipe an olive branch if he gets 2 trebles, possibly 3. He'd love them all.
To leave double 12. Oh, that's set the cat amongst the pigeons, hasn't it? That final dart from Mervyn King where he strayed into the treble 4.
78.
Will that come back to haunt him? 78 away.
Hasn't been broken in this match so far, Merv. Needs tops to the left.
38.
Loose flyer, wasn't it?
Justin Uruguay, 24.
But this is an opportunity for one of the breaks back that Justin Pipe needs.
Yeah,
He's got one back, it's 2 breaks to 1. And all of a sudden
it's Justin to throw first.
Slightly different complexion on this match, 4-2, having trailed 4-0.
I think that was the quickest dart I've ever seen Justin throw. Walked to the hockey and it was one movement. There was no aim. It was almost a fast start from Justin. It's almost like he knew that double 12 was going to go in first dart. First breaker throw for Justin, and he needs more of them. Still has one in the bank.
100.
Last thing you want to do in this position at 4-2 is be involved in a scrap. You want to keep Justin away. Get that break back and make it 5-2 and make it easy for yourself to stroll across the line. Be aggressive.
$96.
Mervyn's pace has never changed in his career. That familiar twist of the dart as it comes back towards the right eye. It's always been there. But the pace of Pipe has changed a lot. since I first met him in 2009, where he was slow. Now, he's easily twice as quick.
95.
And I think, well, I wouldn't say twice as quick for Sulevic, but I think you can say the same about Sulevic as well. I think he varies it up a little bit more, but he's certainly, overall, he's speeded up a significant amount, certainly a noticeable amount.
100.
I think as well with Sulevic, and with Justin as well, people have forgotten about the excuse of he's too slow. They just get on with it now. They just know how they play, they know it's not a tactic, and they know how good they are. And there's more proof from Pipe. This is the fight back coming.
I was just slightly concerned about that first start. It looked a little bit precarious, but Justin Pipe stuck to his guns and he got his reward. He took the risk.
60. Justin Uruguay, 90.
He shouldn't go 20s here. Probably 18s.
That's the danger. It's a treble one to leave 87. Can still salvage this, of course.
Somewhat hopefully asked Kirk Bevins if it was in the 54.
Hawk view.
Don't go there.
34.
One of the reasons why people love darts is because there's no VAR.
No VAR. Normally it's fairly black and white as to where the darts landed.
134.
Pressure's on now. Pipe has not done well, only scoring 34 in his last visit.
Yeah, 90 he had. He's left with 56 3 darts later. That's a bit of a setback. I assume that's it. Oh, he's hit the treble 16. So double 4.
Yeah, on the 7th flag, Justin Pipe.
Converts a
Mervyn to throw
4-1
first.
deficit into a
Game
4-3 deficit. And this is the sort of match more that we were anticipating, I think, at the outset. Very close, very tense. And suddenly Mervyn King is looking a little bit edgy up there.
Well, I might be a little
83.
traditional, but I don't understand the treble when it comes to 56. I know he prefers double 4 at the tops, but when the game is this close and you can't afford any misses on these big singles, why risk the treble?
Yeah, aim for the fatter part of the board.
Yeah. We've already seen today people miss singles by hitting doubles and being close to missing singles. Give yourself a little bit of margin for error. On this occasion it worked, but on other occasions it might not. On that occasion for King, it has very, very much worked. Still got that breaker throw in the bank.
96.
But he needs this hold to keep Justin at bay by 2 legs again. Last game of the afternoon. Whose dinner's going to be tasting sweet?
94.
I've seen Justin Pipe be eliminated on a Friday afternoon and be home by tea time. I think he was in Germany or Austria.
Wow.
That was quite impressive, actually.
134.
His performance wasn't, but his travelling
134.
skills were almost Superman-like.
Must have been at Dusseldorf Airport when we had the tournament there. Anyway, Merv, another one of those. Leaves double 12 for 5-3.
120.
It's just not quite happening on the finishing once again for Mervyn King, but he's got a little bit of time to work with.
Pipe looking for the 171 to leave tops.
99.
Does okay.
Mervyn Uruguay, 24.
Can't see Merv missing this. He doesn't expect to miss either. Doesn't. Beautiful dart from King.
Just perfect, yeah.
I think it's
Absolutely
just going
dead
to throw
centre in
first.
the
Game on.
double 12 bed. No messing about. And that will just keep the wolves from the door, or keep the wolves out the door, I should say.
125.
I'm not sure these guys are football fans, you know, Rob. They're into other games and other sports.
That's quite refreshing, actually. I don't see any problem with that. Not everybody is. But I know a lot of the darts players that we see on the circuit, they take an active interest in what's going on at the weekend, back at home on the European Tour. Big time of the season, big significant stage of the season for clubs up and down the country. Who've we got? Callan Racimi's a Newcastle.
26.
Really.
Steve West is a big Tottenham fan. He's playing tonight as well. Mensur Sulovic is a massive rapid Vienna. I don't know how they're doing this.
I thought you would have known that.
Kim Hybrids, doesn't he support
Liverpool?
Oh, does he? Right, I've got that wrong. I thought he might have been swayed by somebody else.
Yeah, I think Kim's got every right to be a little smug at the minute, being a Liverpool fan.
95.
But who's going to be smug after this one? It could be King with a 6-3 victory. You can get 320 in a hurry. But with that visit, you've got to fancy it's going to be 5-4.
Yeah, well, I don't think King will be making plans just yet for the next leg, but it may well be in the back of his mind, especially if Justin Pipe can continue throwing like that. That was a lovely first dart, shame about the second. But he makes amends with the third. That's a terrific visit by Justin Pipe, and he's very much in pole position now in this 9th leg.
I love the switch to the 19s when it's 265 or 255. Because you get 2 trebles, you put yourself on such a lovely number.
Just near 122.
And 4 18s leaves 50. If he gets the treble, he shouldn't really go for the bull. He'll stay on the 18s again.
90.
And he gets one right in the corner. Lovely setup. Wasn't sure that was in to start with, but camera guys did a fantastic job there of letting us know. And it should be 5-4. If he doesn't get this 32, it could be game over.
It's 5-4.
Justin Pipe. And on we go, just looking at the stats, I mean, there's very little to separate the two of them now. Now that Justin Pipe has got himself back in the frame, the averages are pretty much level, hovering around the 92 mark right now. 4 180s for Pipe to 3. A similar number of 140s. King's slightly more consistent with the ton plus scoring though.
He's definitely been stronger on his own throw.
Yeah.
When you're 1 leg away from the match, and this is the last time you're going to start a leg. Start with a 140. You're very pleased. Needs to stay straight. What a last dart. Salvages a half decent visit to back up the 140. Pressures on Pipe.
Well, their most recent match was a encounter that went the distance to 11 legs. King winning that one at the Players' Championship Finals. Justin Pipe doing his level best of 4 to the side of here with that Sun 80.
They're looking at half his score. He's not going to.
100.
But again, last dart in hand. His pin point gives himself a 1 dart advantage. Pipe's got to be careful here. Can stay there now. Oh, wonderful.
He stayed there to very good effect, didn't he? Leaves himself the prospects of another double 16 finale to take us all the way to a deciding leg. What can Mervyn post in response here?
95.
Just straying. I mean, he strayed over to the 1 bet a couple of times in the last 2 or 3 legs.
See what he was trying to do there, just slide it down the first dart barrel and just pulled it ever so slightly. And Pipe is going for the double-double now, is he? He's not. It's double 18. Oh, he's gone next door. 64. And he's offered Merv a match-winning chance.
Well, I've got to say that was a really bold move, wasn't it? Going for the treble 12, but it paid dividends. It gave himself a shot at it, but he just went the wrong side of the wire. And Merv now looking at 70, and Merv now looking at the bullseye. And finding the bullseye, and Mervyn King once again gets the better of Justin Pipe. It's 4 wins out of 4 for Mervyn against his old adversary. 2 players with a huge amount of experience, not only on the European tour, but throughout their careers. And it's Mervyn King who comes out on top once again. He raced into a 4-0 lead. Credit to Pipe for the way he fought back, but in the end, Mervyn King just about able to get the job done. And the King it is who advances to the 2nd round, and a meeting with Glenn Durran tomorrow to bring down the afternoon session with a very, very effective and a very decent performance in a 6-4 win, a very hard-fought win against Justin Pipe. That rounds off the afternoon session. A reminder, we get underway again at 7 o'clock local time, 6 o'clock if you're watching in the UK. Our first match of the evening, Dirk van Dijvenbode against Luke Woodhouse. 7 further matches to follow after that. Day 1 here of the Belgian Darts Championship.
congratulations. What a game, what a game. You come up 4-0 and then all of a sudden back excitement in the game. What did you think?
Go away. But that's what Justin does. He had a chance early doors and missed it, let me in. I took it. I had a chance to get even further ahead and missed it. He took him, and you got the game you got.
And a great finish at the end with the bullseye.
Yeah, that's good. I'd just like to say happy 22nd birthday to Justin's son, Kobe.
Well, how about that? Thank you very much. And good luck tomorrow against Glenn Durant. Zo, dames en heren, we hebben een fantastische darts namiddag gekend hier in Hasselt met enkele